Good morning from vlog number 2 in Kyrgyzstan.
And welcome to Karakol City.
For the next few days, we're going to be exploring Karakol and the mountain region around the city. We're going to be doing a sunset hike tonight, a sunset cruise on the Issyk-Kul lake tomorrow, and then we're going to another yurt camp to do a hike into the mountains to a local hot spring, and then back here with Kenny Beck to do some city tours.
Are you excited?
I am excited. Are you excited?
Great. Yep.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So our first stop in Karakol village is at a local community center where there are a group of women who have come together to start a small business making handicrafts. And it's very traditional and it's very similar to what we saw in the first video, but a different part of the country. So let's go check out what they're creating. So we come around back of the heritage building here and it is time to construct a classic Kyrgyz yurt.
Now we're gonna build the Kyrgyz traditional yurt.
And the master yurt is complete. Everybody here did an amazing job. I think I probably did the least, but it was definitely cool to be a part of the experience and to see how these are constructed. So now it's time for some tea and some bread and some fruit, and then we are going off on a hike. And we are off on a about 4-hour trek somewhere in the mountains outside of Karakol. I think it's going to be great. Let's go see what we got. And our trek has begun. 4 hours in the hot sun, hoping for even a little bit of a sunset, but it's looking real nice. So let's go explore the mountains. Seems to be a bit of a theme to trekking in Kyrgyzstan that quite often there's at least one section with no trail. And that's it for the sunset session here on the top of the panoramic lookout outside of Karakol. Really good way to end the first day. And tomorrow's gonna be a busy day. We're doing a city tour, going to a museum, and going out on a cruise on the Issyk-Kul lake as well. So I hope you like the images today, and stay tuned because day number 2 starts right now. Good morning from the second full day in Karakol, Kyrgyzstan. Today we are doing some museums and some history, a foodie tour, and then sunset on a boat on the lake Issyk-Kul. Hundreds of square kilometers of mountainous region that is home to all of these animals in these 2 rooms, and this is kind of creepy taxidermy, but it's also really cool to see how much variety of wildlife is still here and still exists, you know, in their natural habitat. So very cool to see just the range of the animals. the next stop on our cultural tour of Karakol is the Dungan Mosque.
Yeah.
And can you tell us a little bit about the Dungan people?
The Dungan people, they came the 19th century as a refugee from the Chinese province to Kyrgyzstan, and since then they've been living in this around the city, which is called the Karakol, of course. Yeah.
Cool. So they're Chinese Muslims.
Yeah, Chinese Muslims.
In the grounds of the Chinese Muslim mosque, and there are pear trees, apricot trees, plum trees, and two of the guys who work here are harvesting some of the plums right now, and they're kind enough to give me one. Breakfast! So our whirlwind city tour continues, and we are now at the Russian Orthodox Church, which was built in 1886, and it was the first ever church in Kyrgyzstan. Our first stop on the city food tour is trying ashlan phu, which is a classic dish of Karakol, and it is absolutely delicious. I've already had it twice, so I'm really looking forward to eating this again.
Hey, my name is Steven. I'm exploring Karakol today, part of the city food tour, to try the ashlan phu and all the other Kyrgyz delights they've got going on.
What do you think of the ashlan phu?
Cold, spicy, and delicious.
What do you think?
Yeah, it's perfect. I like it.
How full are you?
That much.
I'm so full. Oh my god, so much food.
Yeah, I'm so full also.
It was good though, huh?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
High
Let's
five.
go.
So our afternoon cultural tour continues, and now we're at a museum which is actually close to the Issyk-Kul lake, and I believe this is a tomb.
Yeah, and there is a tomb of this person. This person's name is Mikhail Przewalski. Przewalski was the first Russian traveler, explorer in Central Asia.
Very cool. And what year was this, more or less? When was he here?
It was the 18th century. It was 19th century.
Yeah, the 1800s, 19th century. One Russian explorer spent a lot of time in these mountains, documenting the flora and the fauna, and sending a lot of that back to the Western world. So, yeah. And he wanted to be buried here too. So this is a big sort of area that is his tomb, and also now a museum.
Yep. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
So let's go check it out.
Yeah. Let's check it out. Yep.
So this museum is dedicated to Przewalski, who was a Russian explorer, and he was in this area of Central Asia for 15 years, exploring present-day Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayan region of the West, which is still super wild. So I mean, to think of this like over 100 years ago must have just been insane, and it's very, very cool to see some of the artifacts from that time, and to see their train of thought and how they explored this area as individuals. So very cool. Check out this museum if you're anywhere near Karakol, or if you're interested in exploration of the first people to really understand the wild area where we are. Karakol city lies on the eastern side of the Issyk-Kul lake, which is a giant lake in sort of the northeast portion of Kyrgyzstan, and this is where we're going to shoot sunset this evening off of a boat. I think it's going to be really cool and a nice change from a very heavy cultural day. So thanks for staying with us. It's a lot of information, I know, but right now it's time for some more scenery, and we're off to the lake. So we're off the boat. How was that for you, Kenny Bet?
It was a great, but sunset was not that much.
No,
like
but
yesterday.
still-
but it's still good.
We're trying to say the same things at the same time. But still a good excursion outside of Karakol, and very cool to check out this portion of the lake. It actually looks like we might be getting a little bit of glow off the bottom of the clouds right now. So we're gonna go check out another lookout point and see if we can shoot sunset from land. So here we go. We got off the boat just in time. This sunset has popped. I'm getting a phenomenal time lapse with the 16-35 Canon, and yeah, just the color is absolutely flying across the sky. Really nice hues with the reflection on this water behind me. Absolutely perfect end to the second day exploring Karakol. We had a really heavy day on the cultural side, but really interesting information and a lot learned about the history of this area and of the city. And tomorrow we are going to start a hike. I'm going on a 3-day, 2-night hike into the wilderness, into the mountains, to a hot spring. So I think it's going to be really cool, and that starts right now. Tomorrow I'm heading off on a hike for 3 days and 2 nights, and sadly Kenny Beck is not coming with me.
But after that, when you come back, I will meet you.
Yes, right?
Yeah, you're right.
So Kenny Beck will be back in 3 days and 2 nights, which will go by in about 4.5 to 5 minutes on the vlog. So see you then.
I see you then.